If sport has ever got you through a bad week, made you feel part of something, or started a friendship, then this podcast is for you. Welcome to Across the Codes. I'm Karabelo.
And I'm Bali. This is a space for sports lovers who care about more than just the scorelines. We're here for the passion, the friendships, the comfort, and the moments that sports brings into our lives. No matter the code, no matter the team, if you love sports, you're home. Welcome to yet another episode of Across the Codes. We have missed you guys. We know that there wasn't an episode last week, but a lot has happened, and this episode specifically I'm very excited about because we're going to be talking about such interesting things. If you read the title, you already know what we're talking about. So buckle up, take out some popcorn, whatever you're doing when you listen to podcasts. Let's get it started. I just first want to find out though, as we do when we start these episodes, how you are doing, friend, in sports terms.
I feel like I am Yannick Sinam. I just played a 5-setter, 5 hours with Carlos Alcaraz. I was in the lead, but I just lost it. You know that defeat at the Roland Garros last year? I feel like that, friend. I feel so tired. I'm exhausted. Every part of me is exhausted. Physically, spiritually, mentally, emotionally. I'm just tired. And sometimes I just feel like I'm pouring out of an empty cup and that I just need to take a break and go refresh and fill up. But I have faith that the Lord will help me through this. Enough about me and my depressing stuff. How are you doing?
No, I seriously feel like the way you explained how a 5-setter against Novak would feel, or a 5-setter anywhere, I feel like every time I watch tennis and I'm watching a 5-setter, I'm always like, this is so emotionally exhausting. This is so exhausting. So for you to have that, for you to perfectly sum it up like that is crazy. But also, I do wish you get a little bit of rest. I know that you're going to get some rest this week and you deserve it. You've worked so hard. You're working so hard. You're putting in so much work and pouring yourself into everything you're doing. So I really hope that you feel somewhat refreshed at the end of the week. But to get into how I'm feeling like that World Cup game, I think it was a group game with France, and they went into the game with the incorrect lineup. It wasn't the lineup that they had in the past 2 games before that game. And then Didier Deschamps changed the lineup in 25, not changed the lineup, but he made subs, something like 4 subs in the first 25 minutes. And the reason why I feel that way is because I need to change a lot of things and I'm finding out what works. Some people say the year starts in Feb. Some people say the year starts in March. I feel like for me, the year started in March because the first 2 months were a trial of me finding out what really works for me. And now I feel like I can end the first quarter of the year with some proper systems, some proper strategies, because I've felt what it's like being in 2026, with those two months. So yeah, I'm making a lot of changes and it's gonna be 5 subs or 4 subs in the first 25, my GOAT Didier Deschamps. So yeah, that's how I'm feeling.
If you're going to do it anything like Didier Deschamps, then I have faith in you. I have faith you'll conquer. Because, that man is a goat of goats. Just ensure that you don't have a dictator somewhere in your life. Yeah?
I knew you were going to go there. But anyway, let's talk about any reactions to what happened in the PSL in the last few days, especially over this weekend.
Nothing from my side. No, nothing interesting happened in the PSL. Did anything interesting happen for you?
That's hilarious. Anyway, I think dropping 2 points, the way that we drop points was very, I don't know, disappointing. I always do this thing when I'm watching a game. I'll watch the first 45 minutes, with my chest. And then when I can see that the last 45 minutes are on the rocks, I do something. So I try to actually use that time for something so that at the end of the game, I feel like I didn't waste it looking at a game or watching a game rather. where we lost or where things didn't go well. So yeah, it was one of those. I had to start doing something at the 45-minute mark. Luckily, we did get that one goal to equalize, but we dropped points, crucial points at a crucial time of the season. And, there aren't a lot of things to say in terms of adding to the noise, because I feel like at this point, anything anyone says is just going to be noise. It happened. We have to just patch up and move on and keep going to the last day. But yeah, it's so sore because it's something could really be like the end of the road for us in terms of us winning the league, but we don't know, right? We don't know. We can only speculate and we can only feel what we want to feel, but that shouldn't be a deterrent to us keeping the faith. Right now, there's about like 20% faith left in the tank, maybe a little less, like 10%. But yeah, that was really, I don't know, disappointing for me. But yeah, that's what happened for me in the PSL this past weekend.
Yeah, that sounds very unfortunate. Sounds sad. I'm kidding. I just feel like I'm not ready to talk about it because I'm still trying to process what happened. Kilabona, when you're in a state of shock and you're like, did you guys just do this at such a crucial time? And what is making me even angrier is we had not even close to 30 shots in the game, but nothing was going right. So I feel like, yeah, I'm trying to ignore that. I'm trying to ignore what happened in the PSL. I'm putting all my focus on the Indian Wells. That is something that has been consuming my time. I have my focus. Both of my players are playing their finals. At the time that we're recording this, they haven't played. So the women's final is going to play at 8 p.m., the men's at 11 p.m. So that's where I'm focused on. Savings on, they're just going to make me depressed and I don't want to think about it now. I just want to focus on other things.
No, I totally get that, it's okay. But also, this episode, I think when we had this idea initially, like we were both very excited, but I think like when I got into it and I started thinking about actually how we're going to like do this, how not like record, but how we're actually going to do the task at hand, which is to find ways to increase fans or to increase supporters for these different clubs. I was like, oh, this might be a little bit of a daunting task, very difficult. I don't know how you felt, because I feel like now, like, we can just get into it.
So you remember I said to Mbali that I'm not a marketing person, so I don't know how I'm supposed to come up with ideas or think about these things. But when I actually started sitting down and trying to get ideas together, they came so naturally, and I was actually having so much fun because I also did a bit of research, thinking, okay, what could help a team like this or what could help a team like this. I enjoyed myself. I had so much fun, and now I was thinking, what if they actually use it and they get? Because some of them are like doable and actually fun ideas. So I had a lot of fun. Thank you for suggesting this. I actually had fun, and I feel like we're going to have so much fun talking about this on today's episode.
Yes, I also feel like it's going to be like very interesting to see how we viewed the task and like the perspective we had on it. Because I know before, like our pre-recording conversation was around like how many ideas you had and how long like your preparation was in terms of this. Yeah, like it's going to be nice. I think I'm very excited for your ideas. So without any further ado, I think I'm going to start. Should we rather do you want to reveal who the three teams we have are now, or do we reveal as we go?
No, I think we should reveal as you go. So as you go, you'll say, these are my team, and then you go into it to keep that suspense.
No, I get that. Okay, let's start. So I think firstly, I want to lay the ground with this thing, right? Is to say, because the total addressable market is like the amount of people we have in the country who can actually watch football or who actually watch football. We know that we're a football loving country, we're a football country first, or soccer country first before we are anything. There's been very interesting debates online whether we're more of a rugby country or a soccer or football country. And I definitely think we are a football country. But being a football country, there's a lot of nuances to how the market is set up. And I think because we have like two giants in Soweto with Kaizer Chiefs and Orlando Pirates, it's very difficult for me to imagine how you can like tremendously change the landscape and have more people support your team, because wherever you are in the country, there's a Kaizer Chiefs fan, there's a Pirates fan, and of course with the work that Mamelodi Sundowns has made in the past couple of, well, not couple actually, in the past decade, with however many champions they won, you also get a lot of their fan base has grown through that as well, you know, being a team that has earned fans. But we know that the majority of fans are with Kaizer Chiefs and with Pirates. So when I was thinking about my ideas, I definitely was thinking of it from a long game perspective, you know, to say this is what you do in the long term, this is how you establish yourself in the community that you're in, and also this is how you talk to the youth more so that you can actually, you know, find a way to leverage the future, because although we have like however many fans who are Pirates and Kaizer Chiefs fans, like eventually they're going to die because they're old, so there's a new fan base, culture and way of doing things that can be done with young people. So I did feel like that was a bit dark, saying people are going to die. But, you know, it is what it is. Like, we have to talk about how Gen Z is coming up and how we actually address that market from a football perspective. Right. So now getting into the teams I had. So firstly, okay, I'm just going to speak about all the teams, and then I'm going to say what I would do for all the teams. So I chose Stellenbosch, I chose Siwelele, and then I chose Sekhukhune. Great. So Triple S, you know, tuck it. I'm joking. Let's start with Stellenbosch. So Stellenbosch is positioned really well in a part of the country that is quite rich, right? We know that we're getting like the wine farms, the vineyards are there. So, and it's a very like, it's the rich part of the country alongside your Cape Town, so in the Western Cape there. So here, there's a huge opportunity, but I also think because of the fact that there are the class usually in South Africa, like people who love football or the football loving class is not really in the upper end of the economy, right? So I feel like that's probably where the challenge is. It's that we don't have enough of that class converting into the PSL. So that's the problem I was really trying to fix with these ideas. But anyway, so I said it's positioned really well within the class like perspective, so people can actually afford to do things. And secondly, because it has a university in Stellenbosch, or because there's a Stellenbosch University, there's also a very young population that they can speak to. So I said we need more youth and community activation. So leveraging the university, having more university activations and campaigns that are targeted towards like the youth. So I don't really know what these activations would look like per se, but I know that that would be the correct strategy in terms of going in there and being like really with the people, really with the youth, you know, building a sense of community and a sense of belonging with the club that the young people within these universities can kind of attach to the brand. So that would be one of the strategies. And then the second strategy was to sponsor or co-brand the local wine economy, right? So more visibility of the boys within these circles, right? Like things like your golf days, local interactions with the community. So like getting involved in what the local community is about, because a huge part of why Orlando Pirates is the way that it is because it's really like ingrained with the community of Orlando, right? And Kaizer Chiefs really ingrained with the community of Orlando as well, or like Soweto. They're really with, even when it was starting, because we have to go back to how they became the giants that they became, right? There was once like a pirates choir or like a ladies community or committee or whatever that they had, you know. So it's very much for the community. So we need to kind of think of things that speak to the community that you have. So I thought more golf days, having branded wine, not branded wines, but like doing things with the wine economy that really speak to the fact that we're here, you know, we're the boys, or we're the club, the football club that is trying to get more visibility, that is trying to really connect with the heart of who we are as Delhi's citizens. So yeah, that's essentially what I would do. So in a nutshell, more youth and community activations leveraging the Stellenbosch University, as well as sponsoring or co-branding the local wine economy, as well as other higher end activities that happen. So like your golf days and all of that.
Great. And then it takes us into Siwelele, right? And what could work there. So the brand architecture here, I think, is very much like, Bloemfontein Celtics, the color, of course, and just the history of the Free State football loving community, and most importantly, the Bloem, right? The Bloem football loving community. So very much like rooted in community, rooted in family. So there's that strong family element of, if when the club rises, everybody rises, the community rises as well. So here we're going for more of that family element, but also heavy on the community element of it. So because it's not as if we had to do like a income segmentation, it's not as high income. I would obviously Bloom is a rich like place. I'm not saying it's not, but because of the way, basically because of the way it's positioned within the country in terms of really being aware of like what happens economically within these countries, or these within these economic zones rather, sorry. We kind of see that the strategy here has to kind of be different to like doing things that don't really speak to these people and what you actually have to do here. Anyway, so I would say one, I just had offer more buses to the stadium. So I know we have in South Africa, we have these things where like you can be part of a like the club. I don't know what it's called. I'm forgetting the word, but you can be in certain branches of the club, right? Or supporter club supporters branches. Not in that way, because I feel like that doesn't appeal to everyone. I, for instance, wouldn't really be part of a branch, but I would definitely, if my team was offering buses to the stadium, it appeals to me because it's like, it kills the thing of like, I have to drive or find my own way of getting there. So offering buses to the stadium, having a lot of fun fan stuff, so fanfare, things that allow me to get more tickets. So if I was living in Bloom and I could maybe like do really interesting activations just before the games that gets me certain, like it gets me to kind of have access to the players, but also have access to more tickets. So that, and the fact that I'm being driven to the stadium with a bus that belongs to the club, that would be really cool. And because it's that family element as well, like sharing is a huge part of this. So we need to share as much as possible, share like for everything. So having like a really nice branded Sibelele bus that takes people to the stadium and back, having like maybe 5 of these that go around Bloom, or like certain parts of the Free State where they know that they have a lot of fans. Oh, that would be lovely. And it doesn't even have to be something that the club does themselves in terms of footing the bill alone. We know that these branches already exist for that kind of purpose, where people are collecting money in like a crowd saving situation where they're saving to go to games. So that can be incorporated into this as well, and have these branches, these different branches kind of manage the bus aspect to it. But getting a whole branded bus is expensive, but I think it's worth it in the long term. I don't know if this already exists, but a whole branded bus, guys, like a bus idea is so cool. And we have it going around all of Bloom. We know what times it's going to be there and all of that. I feel like that would be really nice. Anyway, then I have kind of a more school focused campaign idea. So I think if you do more shoe drives, so school shoe drives for a lot of primary schools, and for like just the forgotten part of the country, or people that can't afford, to have new shoes every school year, they should be ahead of that game. I think like also it's very cold in the Free State. So doing things like that for me kind of like speaks to, you really know your supporter, you really know the end consumer. And there's nothing more, like if I got shoes from a club when I was young and I knew they were giving me shoes until I was in like grade 7 or whatever, that's such a huge thing for me. And I feel like I'd be so loyal to the club. So school shoe drives, and then also sponsor like a mini football tournament. So you know how we had mini cricket with KFC? So just have a Siwelele mini football tournament that goes around the different primary schools, or people in the Free State, people in Bloom. You can even localize it into Bloom alone, where they can be part of this mini football tournament. You have different players go like once a weekend in a specific center where, you know, people are practicing and they're giving tips. So just doing more family related things that really speak to the fact that we're together, we're building this together, because I feel like that's the whole brand essence of Siwelele and Bloemfontein Celtic, or formerly what was Bloemfontein Celtic, right? So that's what I have for them. And again, I said it's a long-term play, but I think even if I was a Pirate supporter, but my child is playing in a mini football tournament sponsored by Siwelele, like that does kind of make me also a Siwelele supporter, you know, like a dual supportership. I feel like it's something that needs to grow in the PSL. Of course, it erodes at loyalty, but I don't think given our geography, I don't think staying with these, because everybody in the country is either a Kaizer Chiefs or a Pirates fan, or thirdly, a Sundowns fan. So we need to find ways in which to make that if you live in a certain place or part of the country, even though you support these big teams, you can still support your local club, you know? Yeah, anyway, then we move on to Sekhukhune, which is my last one. So this one was a bit hard because I was like, you can't really say, like, you can really tie it to a specific community. I know that they are a Limpopo team, to what I know, but I don't know if they actually train there or like live there, the players themselves. So this one was a bit hard to do. So I don't think there needs to be a strong community element to it. But I thought of a different strategy. So here I think, if anything, Sekhukhune is one of those, if you were in the club, you know, with your boys, like Sekhukhune is the one guy who somehow can pull the greatest baddies. Like, you don't even know how it happens, but they can just pull baddies. I feel like that's Sekhukhune for me. And I say this because they're able to pull a lot of the big names from other clubs. So they have Kadoso there, they have Lindam Tambo, they have Tabang Monare, if I'm not mistaken. No, I'm not mistaken. I know he's there. So, like, these are just like big names, right? That can just walk and waltz into Sekhukhune anytime. Like, anyone, literally, there's no big name that can't play at Sekhukhune at this point, right? Like, they need, like, maybe, I don't want to say this, but you know, like, the second, no, let me not say this, but they can literally pull anyone they wanted to pull, and that's what the strategy was worked from. Cool. So what we would do here is to do more marketing surrounding their stars. So because they have very like well-spoken and outspoken stars as well. Like Lindam Tambo was in just now during the AFCON, he was doing a podcast. I know Taba Munare loves to speak, you know, things like that, Cardoso as well, and also other personalities in the club that maybe aren't so big from a point of view of like they've played for a Pirates or a Kaizer Chiefs, but still have big personalities. I feel like this is the club where doing marketing around your stars would really work. So one idea I had is podcast by the stars. So this is something we haven't really seen from clubs. I don't know why, but if we have, probably because, you know, we're trying to win the league and we have to use our time wisely. You can't really have players doing a whole podcast if they have to win a game the next Wednesday, you know. But I feel like for growing your fanship as well as supporters, this is something that would work. So a podcast, I'm thinking like Lindam Tambo, Tabang Monare. It doesn't even have to be about what's happening in the PSL. They do something other than that. Like they speak about other interests that they have, or they speak about another league, you know, like La Liga or the EPL, just something that really gets all of us listening, even though I'm not a Sekhukhune supporter, you know. I feel like growing the brand in that way is really powerful. And then also, I don't know if this is something that has been done or it's not allowed in the PSL, but having t-shirt sales for the stars, and maybe signed by the Stars, that's something that I would really like. I would like that to happen, and I would really probably buy a shirt that is by Tabang Monare or whatever. If Pirates isn't doing it, if I don't have a Tabang Monare shirt from Pirates, I want the Tabang Monare shirt from Sekhukhune. Something cool like that. I think would really be nice, and then also just like more personality social media marketing. So your tunnel fits, really showing us like what this specific player got up to in the day, just really speaking to Gen Z, but also using the fact that they can pull baddies into their advantage to be like, let's leverage these personalities we have. Let's leverage these stars, that are coming from other clubs but still come into our environment. So that's what I would do. So just mainly marketing surrounding their stars, really fun social media stuff, digital stuff that really like podcasts and that really, really address the personality gap, because I feel like in our country we just follow the players on Instagram. We know what they're about, but we don't really have like a social media or digital economy that really works and leverages their personalities. They've got great personalities, not just players at Sekhukhune, like everywhere. So yeah, without giving too many ideas there, I just wanted to put that one out. So yeah, that's my triple S strategy for the Stellenbosch, Siwelele, and Sekhukhune. Yeah, I don't know what you were thinking and what you have in store. I'm very excited to hear.
How do you expect me to go after that? Like, what am I supposed to say? I think that's so brilliant. I think what I loved about your Stillies part is where you spoke about the wine. I hadn't even thought about that, since Stellenbosch is in a wine area, that they could actually partner with a wine brand, and maybe that wine could be in restaurants. And when people are out there, they'd be like, what is this? Like, what is it about? And also with the student activation, I don't know if it's possible, but they could partner with the Stellenbosch University. I'm pretty sure they have a football team. Maybe do have like an exhibition match, something, to tap into the student market as well. I think also I liked what you said about Siwelele in terms of the touch with the community, going into schools, having like mini tournaments. I think I like it when a team is involved with their community like that, and they just don't wait for, maybe like example, you know how in the Nedbank Cup, if you win, you get to do an initiative with a school of your choice or a charity of your choice. I like it when they don't have to wait for those moments. And I also had an idea, like when you spoke about the buses, the sponsored bus, in as much as that is expensive, how about they actually partner with a local bus service, if there is a local bus service, and then have that bus service or that bus company brand, like put their stuff on, especially on like match days or the week leading up to a big match where they're gonna play in town, so that people see that bus throughout the week, that okay, there's a match coming this weekend. That could be that could also be a good idea. And I also like the podcast idea you said about Sekhukhune, because most of the time when we see former players, it's podcasts afterwards, and now they're trying to analyze the game for sellers. Yeah, that is nice, but yeah, it gets boring sometimes. So it would be nice to have somebody that is playing ball now, talking about other things other than ball, or maybe ball that is not theirs, like not telling us about the PSL stuff, talking about general stuff, maybe also challenges that they face as footballers. To say, yo, the kind of things we face is what happens when you are going on an injury, you have an injury or whatever, and what they think about other like football leagues. So I really like that. I really like your ideas. Now I'm shaking, because what am I supposed to say? How am I supposed to go after that?
I know you're gonna have such great ideas. You always do this, but anyway, let's hear them.
All right. Okay. So again, disclaimer, guys. Now I'm not a marketing person. So I had to dig deep and think about these things, right? So I chose three teams. I chose Cape Town City. Yes, it's not in the PSL right now, but I love Cape Town City as a model. I love what the club is and what it stands for, so that's why I chose it. So I chose Cape Town City, I chose TS Galaxy, and I chose Orbit College. And yeah, I'm gonna walk you through the kind of ideas I have for each team. Okay, so let's start with Cape Town City, right? So I think something that we need to consider when it comes to Cape Town City is that Cape Town has other sporting codes. Cape Town is, for lack of a better phrasing, it's a white community. So mostly people watch rugby. We have the DHL Stormers here. That's what people like. People like rugby. And then it's even worse because the Stellenbosch rugby team is here, the Matties. So we know how the varsity team rugby team is loved, right? So already it puts our football on okay, we are competing with, big names, big sports. So I was thinking, okay, there's the varsity team, there's the Stormers, there's also Stellenbosch, the football club. So what could make Cape Town City stand out? And I feel like Cape Town City is also a team that has been doing quite well, especially in the media spaces. They've tackled social media. They know what to do on social media. There are other things they can do. So I went on their website and I actually saw that they have a partnership with the city of Cape Town, which is the municipality in Cape Town. And what I saw on their website, I'm going to read what they had said. So they said that the club, which is Cape Town City, uses its roots in Nyanga, the city center, and the Cape Flats to unite Cape Town's rich footballing history under one team. So I thought, since you have this in your like mission statement, you have this about your team, and you have a partnership with the city of Cape Town, why not collaborate with the city of Cape Town to have events, to have outreach events in these communities that you're talking about? Have events, have clinics, even if it's like a football clinic for these communities, because we know there are a lot of talented players that you find in these communities. So they could do that. And if people see, oh, our community, our club, the club that we have in Cape Town is engaged with us as a community, they'll be bound to support it. They'll be like, these people come to our community, we are going to go support them. So I thought they could have events and outreach programs with the community as well. And then when another idea that came to mind is they could also partner with universities. Cape Town is filled with universities. There's UCT, there's CPUT, there's UWC. I won't count Stellenbosch because Stellenbosch is on the outskirts and they have Stellenbosch University. That's just Stellies that side. So I'll just count these three. Students can make the biggest offense. So if they can get into the students, have discount for student tickets, have events with students, all these teams that I made, all these universities that I mentioned, they probably have university football clubs. Maybe host an exhibition match. You don't even need to bring the first team. You can bring the DDC team. Let the DDC team come play with, let's say, the first team, Yako UWC or CPUT. At those events, have like maybe one or two players from the first team come, have your coach come. That way you're also building that fan base, you're getting through to the students. So they could do that. If another idea, they could have host watch parties at these universities. Sometimes students don't have like the time or the means to actually go physically to the stadium. Organize with our universities, host a watch party, bring some people there, have a watch party, and you are getting these students. So that is another idea that I had, especially for the university engagements and in the community side. And then another idea, how the mood in Cape Town, it's hip, it's happening. Cape Town is like a lot of fashion, all of that. What they could do that could be really nice is maybe partner with a local designer to have a limited edition shirt, right? Somebody who's locally known in Cape Town, people know that person. Oh, this is a person we go to when we make shirts or when we need white. Partner with that designer, make a limited edition shirt, put it out there, tell the people, like, be part of the Cape Town community. So if they can do that, then they have the streets, because that designer will then post it and people will be like, oh, you actually work with Cape Town City. What is Cape Town City? And then they know, oh, it's a football club. Then they will actually gain interest. I don't know if it will actually work, but then in my head, you'll gain interest if you're like, oh, my favorite designer has a shirt with this football club. Let me go see what this football club has. And then, like I said, with social media, they are sorted. They already have it. I think their social media is great. They just need to keep on doing that. Last thing on Cape Town City, there was an initiative they had started, which was something so good. They had a fan day, and I just wish every team can have a fan day because it's something so unique, something so special. And on a fan day, what they have is they have a training match, an exhibition match where they do training. All their sponsors are there. They sponsor activations, their stalls. So I think with them they gave away tickets for free. There was a match where they were giving free tickets, and then others they were selling. Merchandise was there. Good. It was just like a fun day where you can go as a family. You're watching, you're buying food, there's entertainment, there's meet and greet, you can take pictures. So I think that also just integrates the team with the community. Because I think they did it at their training ground. And if people know, oh, we're going to see our Cape Town stars, they will go, and build that, community thing. So those are the ideas that I had around Cape Town City. Now, moving on to TS Galaxy. So TS Galaxy is situated in Mpumalanga, Mbombela. There's no football there basically, so they also could do a lot because there's hardly any football that is happening, and they're the only people bringing football. Again, if it's like that, it will all start with the community. You need to be within the community so that they are the ones who also spread the word to say, guys, there's a team here, let's go. Same as with Cape Town City, they could still do outreaches, they could have tournaments, especially, how in these communities that don't have like a lot of football most of the time, especially during holidays, like your Easter, your June holidays, your December, they host football tournaments. They could partner with any of a community to say, okay, we're coming to your community. Which local tournament do you have? We're going to partner with it. We will bring, I think they're partnered with Aquele. They can say, okay, we'll bring Aquele water, we'll bring water there, we'll bring some few kids, we'll bring shirts, we'll come with some of our players. How can we partner with you? So they could be part of the community by getting into those tournaments and being part of them. Also, since it is a small community, they could partner with local establishments or restaurants to say, okay, whenever we're playing a match, please let's give a discount to anybody who comes in wearing a TS Galaxy t-shirt, or anybody who has a ticket can get this meal for free, or they can get such a discount. So partnering with local establishment and just the community will start the topic or the noise that, hey, if you go to Spur when TS Galaxy is playing, you get a discount for just wearing a TS Galaxy shirt, or if you have a ticket to show that you're going to the match. And also with the community thing, TS Galaxy, I think what's nice about TS Galaxy is they have a male and a female team. They could reach a larger community with those tournaments. They could cater for both males and females and have both like teams a part of that and reach, like, what can I say, further, like a larger crowd. So I think with the community, I just forgot to add that they should they can cater for both males and females, and they could also just enhance their match day experience using social media as well. Take content at the stadium, involve fans, take videos when fans are coming in, ask questions after the game, just build a social media presence, post, because in such communities, people, if they see you, they're like, hey, Lena, I wanna go and speak there. I saw you on their Facebook or whatever. Just build a community, get the hype around, get the buzz around. And I just wanted to say, I'm actually shocked that TS Galaxy did not make a documentary, because they had a chance of making a documentary when they won the Nedbank Cup. That could have been something that would also made us like, wow, okay, there's a team like this. And if they had done it, also showing this is how we did it from a lower division, and people on Pumalanga would know, Haibo, we have such a team here. So I think maybe they missed that, but that falls under social media as well. I hope I'm not rambling, but those are the ideas that I had when it comes to TS Galaxy. Now, for the last one, Orbit College. I feel like my ideas for all these teams are almost similar in a way, but it's fine. So for Orbit College, again, the approach would be young people and student focused, because Orbit College is actually affiliated with an actual TVET college. So what you can do there, simple, get the students to go, give the student discounts, have them get discounts on the shirts as well, have a bus going from the school to the matches, get them in numbers. Because if students know that there's a free bus going to the stadium, they will pull up in numbers and they will actually go. And even with that student engagement, these residences have football teams. Again, put on an exhibition, bring your DDC team. It doesn't even need to be your first team. Your first team or your DDC team, let them come and play with these student teams. It's a nice event. Students will pull up and should actually be like, oh, this is our team, and actually feel part of the team, feel part of the community that is Orbit College. So that's the first idea that I had. Because it is actually a college, they should be focusing on getting the students to go there whichever way they want. Also, get the students to be on their social media. Ask the students, what do you think about Orbit College? Like, how do you feel about going here? What do you think about our football team? If they do actually go to the match, get them to ask questions. Who's your favorite player? How did you see the match? Things like that. Get a buzz on their social media. I actually have to say, I went to Orbit's website, like the official website. I have not been so disappointed in my life. I think they tried building the website and then they gave up. If you actually go to the website, you will see they tried building it and they gave up because there's a midday team and it's just white people. I'm like, there are no white people at Orbit. So where did you get these white people from? So I think again they need to focus on their social media. Let's rebrand it. Let's do your campus interviews. Let's do normal content at the stadium. Let's do content that is actually calling the students also to the stadium. Even if it means you are having competitions for the students online, it's okay. Just get them to be interested, get them to go to the matches. And lastly, the Northwest community or the province, it doesn't have football also anymore. They lost Platinum Stars. So Orbit College is literally the only thing that they have. But we also have the Northwest University. The Northwest University has a football team. Again, exhibition. Me, I love exhibition matches. Host an exhibition match. Play the Northwest University team with Orbit. That way you are combining universities because Orbit is in Rustenburg. The Northwest University is in Potchefstroom. So it's communities around that now will be like, okay, there's actually a team in the province. We can travel to go and watch, you know. So host that exhibition match, have activations at that game as well, get meet and greets and all of those things. So I think those are the ideas that I had for these three teams. I hope it's not a lot, but yeah, that is what I had.
I really, really enjoyed your ideas. I feel like it was definitely so well-rounded as well. Like you thought about every element, thought about social media, you thought about like every single facet that really makes up how a brand or football brand should operate. I really, truly enjoyed your Tia's Galaxy idea with the partnering with restaurants and, you know, Spur, for example, especially that side, you know, because you're trying to also grow tourism. You're trying to get people to get out of the house more, to do things more. Because I feel like a lot of towns where it's sort of like a small town or it doesn't really have much going on for them, they kind of feel like they have nothing to do. And football has a really good opportunity there to obviously, you know, give people something to do. I really also enjoyed your fan experience and exhibition match ideas across both or across all three. I feel like that's something that really could work. We see it also like in different countries as well where that is done. I feel like that's something that is possible. Like it can be done anytime. And honestly, if they really invest in doing it properly, you can actually get a lot coming from it. But I truly enjoyed your ideas. I feel like we gave them really solid ideas and they really should be used. You know, I'm one of those people where I really believe in the power of ideas, but I also believe that ideas are non-rival. Like I can't prove that these ideas are mine, right? So anyone who does use them can use them freely, you know, as they please, because it's also like we just gave them out in that way. So I really feel that if anyone is listening and they really want to anyone important and they really want to execute any of these ideas, go ahead, sure, go ahead. You know, I feel like we're really trying to get more supporters into not into football, but trying to build more of a fun experience for supporters, and we really want that for our league across the board. So if anyone has a chance to execute any of these ideas, they're probably better ideas, you know, that are sitting somewhere with like people who listen to our podcast or just people
generally, you know, in these different towns or these different, I keep saying countries, provinces that could really think of ways that these clubs can use for them. So I really truly encourage anyone and everyone to use the ideas. But at the same time, I also know that there's probably like a lot of budget constraints with how, you know, how people can actually, they can't fund these ideas, you know. For example, the website that couldn't be completed, there was probably a budget issue. So we also need to look more to ask the PSL to really find a way, you know, to sponsor marketing for I don't really know how it works. Maybe they do already, but if they can increase the budget for these teams, I feel like that would be a good starting point.
You're triggering me by saying if anyone wants to use these ideas, they can. I'm triggered. But yeah, I get the budget constraints as well. I mean, these are just ideas, but it would be nice to see if they're executed, if they're carried out. Because I feel like, especially the one in terms of the fan engagement, we lack a lot of that in South Africa. Like, we don't have a lot of fan engagement with our clubs. So if that could happen, it could really be nice, even for communities that hardly have football, you know, to have that once in a lifetime experience with your TS Galaxy, for example. It would be very nice. So yeah, I think this was such a good episode. I also challenged myself. I was thinking a lot, like, yo, what can we do? What can we do? What would I like to see? You know, I think most of the time again, I'm like, okay, if I had a football club, what would I do? Also, fun fact, my dad had a football club, and then my mom like saying to me, yes, if your dad was alive, you could be working at his club. And I was like, yeah, I would have been the media person because I have all these ideas on what we can do for the club. But I don't have a club, I don't have a football club. So thank you for suggesting this. Push me to my limits also to help me think of actually if you had a club, what would you do?
That was so cool. I had no idea that you guys would have had a club. What was its name? Like, that's so great. I feel like I would also want to be involved because who wouldn't want to own a club in the country? Like, I feel like that's such a fun thing to do. Obviously, very expensive and very hard to do, you know. I don't think that any of these people are having it easy, but that would be so cool. Like, that's a very interesting fact that I didn't know about you.
So the name of the club was Juvenile FC, and used to play. Our rivals was a team called African Warriors, and I think that team still exists this day. That was Juvenile, and yeah, we used to go to a couple of matches. First, it was based in the Eastern Free State because they would play Kopatwa, and play Kobetleme. I don't know what happened to the team, but I know my dad had a team, and I've been to games with him once or twice. And yeah, fella. So my mom always reminds me, anytime I start talking about football, she always reminds us like, yo, yes, you would have been thriving in your dad's team.
No, maybe when you are a rich aunt, one of these days you can try and revive that one. What do you think?
I agree. I think when I'm a rich aunt, I'll go back. Go back, start a football team. And yeah, because there's a lot of talent there. There's a lot of talent. I mean, we gave the country Sipumbule and Tebo Mokoena. So you understand that there's a lot of talent there. And I will start the team there again. And yeah, my dad will be very proud. I pushed his dream and I started a team again.
No, I can't wait for Juvenile FC, if I'm remembering correctly, to be a team again. But before we close, I want to ask, like, of the three teams that you had, I think I already know your answer, but of the three teams that you were doing, which one would you be a supporter for? So I already have my three, and I would definitely be a steady supporter without a doubt. Like, they just need I know, like, the color scheme throws me off a little bit. That maroon, I don't know, like, I'm on the fence about it, but like, if they did a really nice cream, you know, like those cream or white Arsenal t-shirts. But if they did something like that for Stadies, I am buying that. Even if it's cream and maroon, like, that's okay. But I would definitely be a Stadies fan because they have been a really strong opponent to Pirates, to any of the big three, especially also Mamelodi Sundowns. So they're very close. They're on the cusp of something great. So I definitely choose them. But I'm interested to see who you would choose. But I think I know. But let's hear.
I know you know, and if you know me, you know I would support Cape Town City. Why not? I already own a Cape Town City shirt, and I already said I like what they're doing with their social media and how they engaged with the community. So I would be a Cape Town City supporter. That means you and I would be rivals this time. Yeah,
Yeah, no, that's very sad, but I knew you were gonna say that. Another team I'd support also is Siwelele, like totally, like that green and white, and just the family ties. I know I'm cheating by choosing two, but Stellies is up there.
let me also cheat and say TS Galaxy. I love what TS Galaxy is about.
So to close off, I know we've been enjoying, I don't know if we've talked about this yet, but we've been enjoying like having our sports boards. So this is a new feature we have on our social media content where you can essentially see what is piquing our interest and what we're finding interesting on the different sporting codes that we like, and we just post a lot of stories. So we've had two boards for in the past 2 weeks, and I think we're gonna have one this week as well, so I'm excited for that. So stay tuned for the boards. They're gonna come out this week, and you're going to see what has been interesting for us. Karabella has kind of hinted on what's going to be on her boards. She's watching a game in the next few minutes, so watch out for that. But thank you so much for being with us and going with us on this ride, to try and be media people and marketing people for the 6 clubs we chose. We had Stellenbosch, Siwelele, Sikukune, TS Galaxy. Karabelo had Orbit College, TS Galaxy, as well as Cape Town City. And yeah, these are free ideas for all. Take what you can, take what you will. If any of these people of influence in the respective clubs are listening, we're open to having more conversations on any of these, but also just, do what you need to do. We really want to see the football in our country grow, and we truly want to see the league grow as well, and people truly loving their community clubs, and even more than that, just for local football to be where it needs to be, fan experience wise as well as marketing wise, and partnerships with different brands across the country. So yeah, we really enjoyed this episode. Thank you so much, and we will see you on the next one.